I would suggest you say, take a second if you're like going back, because, well, you know, you might want to make sure you like say pause these. I'll give a few seconds, and then you can just pause and get down those systems, these setups, because that's all I've got is the setups. So we're looking at that we have these three items, and we want to make sure that we can find them. Now, if you read the first part, a pen and a pencil cost 30 cents. Well, then a pen is what again? X plus Y equals 30. 2 pencils. Pencils are what? Y. So 2Y plus an eraser, which is Z, is equal to 39. Now look at the next one. Again, be careful. A pencil, which is Y, plus an eraser, which is Z, plus 2 pens, which are 2X. And so I'll go ahead and put the 2X first. 2X plus 1 pencil and 1 eraser equals 63. Now, if you want to, from there, you've got to make sure you rewrite, make sure all your variables are on the left-hand side, if you want to do this with matrices, and that you represent every missing variable. Like in the first equation, what's missing? The Z. So I need to put 0Z. So I'd have 1x plus 1y plus 0z equals 30. On this, because I don't see a number in front of an x or a y. If I don't see a number, I put a 1. Okay, what's missing on the second equation? The x. So 0x plus 2y plus 1z equals 39. Is there any variables missing on the last equation? No. Nope, so I just rewrote that. 2x plus 1y plus 1z equals 63. Now, depending which method you want to use for matrices, you could do this by Cramer's rule if you wanted to, but I don't think anybody will want to. You could do this by the inverse method, or you could even do this by the reduced row echelon method. Most it depends. Morning classes have wanted inverse. Afternoon classes want the reduced row echelon form. It's just a matter of personal preference. This is it would look something like this with the 110 021 211 times that. That's the inverse method. Again, that was the morning class. That's what I had written before. Afternoon classes, like I said, y'all usually like the reduced row echelon form. It would look something like this: 1 1 0 30 0 2 1 39 2 1 1 63.
That seems like less work.
Okay, it's not, but okay, it is the same thing. The difference there is, to me, it's like, what do you like to receive? Because when you do reduced row echelon form, you end up with like 1 0 0, a number that's the answer. 0 1 0 answer. 0 0 1 answer. But some of those kids, like I said, some kids somehow somehow remembering that it's always the last column that's your answers, that's all you care about, is somehow a little confusing. Whereas if I do the inverse method, once I press enter, all I'm going to see is the 3 answers. So either method, like I said, I don't care. I'm letting y'all choose whichever method. If you like the reduced row echelon form, then stick with it. You just got to make sure you have it set up correctly, and you should be okay. So if you did do reduced row echelon form, what do you get for an answer?
18, 12, and 15.
18, 12, and 15. I don't think I can fit it in there, so I'll just write it right there. 18, 12, and 15. And just ignore the other stuff that's kind of popping up there, because that was like there's going to be some more writings there because I'm writing over basically what I've done in the morning. But essentially that 18, 12, and 15 would be that last column you would see after the 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1.
Sir, why did you write that? The 1, 0, 0.
Because that's what you should see as an answer. You should end up seeing like this 1, 0, 0, then the 18, 12. Like I said, I don't think I could squeeze it in, but you know, it would end up being like there, 18, 12. Oh, I can squeeze.
That's cool. It comes out.
18, 12, and 15. So you would see that last column is the answers. So that's all you got to remember. Number 4 is a coin problem. It seems like they shouldn't have much of a reasoning for having those in there, but there is kind of like a reasoning for that because it will something you can develop for later on. Lisa has 10 coins in her pockets, quarters, dimes, and nickels. She has 2 more dimes and nickels that are worth $1.50 in all. How many of each type of coin does she have? Okay, what are we talking about here?
Point.
What kind of coins?
Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Okay, so I'm going to say quarters are my X, dimes are my Y, and nickels are my Z, just because I'm putting them in the order that I read them. All right. So from there, she has 10 coins in her pocket. So what do you do to say count? Yeah, okay. Are they equal to? But what do I say with the X, Y, and Z? Quarters, dimes, and nickels. What would I do to get them to equal 10? Not multiply. Add. So X plus Y plus Z equals 10.
$10?
No, 10 coins. Okay, now notice that total equals number of coins. We'll get to one that deals with the dollar amounts in a second. Then you look at this. She has 2 more dimes and nickels. You have to be careful on something like with that wording, especially when it has like 2 more, one of my variables, than nickels. That right there, when you have like the more than split, whatever's in between the words more and than, or even less than, would be what it's equal to. So I'm actually going to say dimes are my Y, so I'm going to say Y equals 2 more, which would be 2 plus the nickels, which are Z. Then I can go into the dollar amounts. How much is a quarter worth?
25 cents.
How much is a dime worth?
10 cents.
Keep in mind that I'm writing that as 0.25 and 0.10 because I'm keeping that in dollar amounts since the answer
Nickels,
was in dollar amounts.
0.5.
0.05
Oh, yeah.
equals $1.50. $1.50. Now, if you want to do that without the decimals, because sometimes some of y'all make mistakes with the nickels and say 0.5 instead of 0.05, you could drop the decimals and say 25x plus 10y plus 5z equals 150. Keeping them all in cents rather than dollar amounts. How much is a quarter worth? Alright, so if I want to be able to do this, again, I need all my variables on one side. On the first equation, are all my variables on the left-hand side? Yes. On the third equation, are all my variables on the left-hand side?
No.
Third equation.
Yeah.
Okay. The middle equation, are all my variables on the left-hand side? No. I need to move this z over to the left-hand side. What is it going to become? Negative z. And what am I missing? I'm missing the x, so I got to put a 0x. 0x plus 1y minus 1z equals 2. Then I could plug that into the calculator with the reduced row echelon form. If I did it reduced row echelon form, I think I've got this here. Yeah, it should look something like this. 1, 1, 1, 10, 0.25, 10, 0.05, 150.
That's the inverse one?
No, this is the reduced row echelon form one. The one that y'all usually prefer. Excuse me? I guess so. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. I don't know. It sounds good. Okay, so 4, 4, and 2 is what you're getting? Should see something like that. And again, 4, 4, 2 should be the ones we're going with. 4 quarters, 4 dimes, and 2 nickels.